Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from RicoScores, and we have some pretty scary Washington Commanders rumors to talk about today. A lot of them we're coming to debunk straight up. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the heads up now. We're here to talk about how a lot of these should not happen and also will not happen. So, of course, we have wide receiver Terry McLaurin trade to Steelers rumors going around. We have Cameron Curl wants revenge, and that's not even like a rumor. That's just straight up Cameron Curl has gone on Twitter and let it be known it's up there and it's stuck there with the Commanders. Also, there's a lot of draft quarterback mystery surrounding the Commanders and specifically Adam Peters, our general manager. Also, PFT commenter said Caleb Williams should demand a trade to a more successful historical franchise like the Commanders. We're going to dive into that as well. We're going to dive into all that and more. But before we do, make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Stay tuned. Hopefully my days are getting a little less busy so I can get back to giving y'all 2 to 3 videos a day. Since we're getting this one out the way fairly early, just drop the dogs off to the grooming place. Do this video, go get them, probably start working on another video immediately after. So I'm planning on coming with at least 2 videos a day, maybe 3, depends on what goes on. And make sure y'all stay tuned. Again, mock draft, all kinds of stuff I'm working on, a cap space update, everything. So stay tuned. Let's go ahead and dive into everything, man. Let's get it. Adam. And hold up, watch out. Before we get into everything, shouts out to my boy Ralph for the big time donation to the Cash App. And just to answer your question, I'm not sure if I can guess 2nd and 36th overall picks correctly, because I'm not even sure if we'll even be picking 36th overall. I would not be surprised if we end up trading up or something like that. So that's a difficult one, but I will try. But again, appreciate the donation to the Cash App. As always, man, if y'all donate while I'm not live streaming, I feel like the least I can do is thank y'all in my upcoming immediately next video. So I really appreciate y'all. And let's go ahead and dive into this video. So the first rumor that we're going to talk about is I saw somewhere, the first thing that I originally saw was a tweet saying, I told y'all when Adam Peters first got hired that if he decided to move to 1, Chicago would either want Terry McLaurin or John Allen. If we're hearing smoke about Terry, then I believe Adam Peters is negotiating with Chicago. I'm telling you folks, be prepared. This is at Fred Ham on Twitter, and there's like a gif of Caleb Williams. So basically he's saying that he's willing to trade, or at least thinks Adam Peters is willing to trade Terry McLaurin or Jonathan Allen so that they can move up to get the #1 overall pick from the Bears so that we can take Caleb Williams. And apparently it seems like Terry McLaurin is the more likely between the two, between him and Jonathan Allen. And then immediately after that, I saw John Com reply tweet, "Stop listening to non-insiders." I thought that was hilarious. He got straight to the point. And then even JP Finley right afterwards said he reached out to sources. Rumors about Terry McLaurin being traded aren't real. Quote, zero truth to him being available, unquote. So that's good to hear that Adam Peters wants to keep Terry McLaurin long term. Very interesting. And then also Mark Bullock, I mean, he found where this all started. He tweeted, everyone has told me it was some type of Steelers blog or insider putting it out there. Because I was very curious. I was like, man, where did this come from? The original source that I gave you from the Fred Ham guy doesn't seem like it came from him. It sounds like he's just saying what he heard, and he's talking about what he heard, and basically he believes it. He's putting his name next to this whole rumor and is stamping the fact that it could very likely happen, but he's not the one that created the rumor, which takes me to, so apparently it did start from the Steelers side. There's an article that reads, it's fair to note 93.7 The Fan's Chris Mueller is not reporting that any kind of discussions are ongoing between the Steelers and Washington Commanders regarding Terry McLaurin. The one-time Pro Bowler has played much better than that throughout his 5-year career. McLaurin has played in every game since the 2021 season kicked off, and in that time the wide receiver caught 233 catches, 3,246 yards, and 14 touchdowns. There has been a lot of turnover in Washington in the first full offseason, with Josh Harris leading the new ownership group. It's unlikely that the team competes for a championship in 2024, as they're expected to draft a quarterback with the second overall pick. Getting maximum value in a trade for a guy like Terry McLaurin may be in the franchise's best interest if he isn't expected to re-sign with this contract that expires after the 2025 season. So we still have him for another 2 years, just to let y'all know. McLaurin has a hefty cap hit of $24.1 million in 2024 and $23.6 million in 2025. Pittsburgh is capable of handling those based on how their current financial situation is set up. And then another Steelers source said the Commanders are set to bring in a young quarterback, and having a top target like Terry McLaurin is ideal for the development of that young player. In addition, he still has 3 years left on his contract, meaning that not only is McLaurin a huge asset to the team for now, but into the future as just 28 years old and one of the top receivers and route runners in the league. And the Steelers have basically been connected to potential blockbuster trades at wide receiver all over the place. And Tuesday only intensified that when 49ers wide receiver Brandon Ayuk sparked speculation on Tuesday when he sent a message to Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin on Twitter, technically X, stating, quote, "At Coach Tomlin, they saying we twins. What you think?" Unquote. And I mean, they actually do look a lot like each other, man. That's actually great. Omar Epps, Mike Tomlin, and Brandon Ayuk are literally the same person. That's hilarious. But basically, there's one Steelers article and source saying that this is what the Steelers should do, and then there's another Steelers source that's saying no, the Commanders should not do that. Terry McLaurin would be a great wide receiver to have for the quarterback that you plan on taking second overall, especially development wise, and especially if you're trying to get immediate production out of this guy. Why would you trade away one of your best players? So again, I have seen no concrete evidence that this is potentially going to happen. I just wanted to give y'all the point of view and like the origin of all of this. What was the catalyst for this whole rumor spreading? And then again, you have at Fred Ham that like took the information that he saw and basically doubled down on it and was like, I told y'all, watch out type of thing. Don't be surprised if type of thing. And then that got everybody. I mean, the fact that John Com and JP Finley even reacted to it lets you know that this rumor got a little too out of control. And I just thought that was hilarious, man. The fact that they had to step in and say something lets you know that this rumor was starting to spread like wildfire way too quickly, because there's a lot of rumors that go on every day. Every day in Commanders land, there's always some sort of random rumor. And we've heard rumors about Jonathan Allen potentially be on the trade block. I don't remember seeing John Com step in that quickly to shut those rumors down. So I don't know why this rumor had some particular steam behind it. I don't know, but it seems like from everybody's point of view, even from the Steelers side, this doesn't make any sense. This was just, I guess, like a random topic being brought up in the Steelers fan base, and then it just ended up coming, it stepped into the Commanders fan base front desk. It was detected by our radar, and then it just basically went from there. Moving on, I thought it was really interesting that not even the plugged-in draft analysts have any idea of what's going on with the Commanders with that second overall pick. Now, it's obvious that we're far, far, far more likely to end up taking a quarterback there than to trade back. But even then, which quarterback do we want? You have Mel Kiper, who's super plugged in. He said, quote, "I don't think anyone has a great handle on which quarterback the Commanders prefer just yet," unquote. And again, this is coming from Mel Kiper, that's been in the game longer than anybody else doing it. And he said that not only does he not know what the Commanders are doing, he said that he doesn't think anybody does. Just talking to analysts, talking to insiders, maybe even from other NFL teams, other scouts and things like that, maybe guys that could have heard some whispers going on and maybe have like a link to Adam Peters in some way, and nobody knows anything right now. And then you even have Daniel Jeremiah from NFL Network, and again, mind you, this is the guy, unlike Mel Kiper and all of these other guys that do their mock drafts, even me, when we do our mock drafts, we're doing what we think people should do. We're like, if I were in this situation, this is what I would do. Daniel Jeremiah always makes it known that his mock drafts are completely predictive and not based on what he would do or what he would want that team to do. It's purely just based on what he's hearing at the time. Now, of course, he could be getting fed completely false information at any given time. With teams knowing that Daniel Jeremiah puts that information out there after hearing it, of course, they could literally be telling him the opposite. So, of course, always take even his mock drafts with a grain of salt. But this is a guy that's plugged in as much as possible. And again, he completely bases his whole mock draft and draft process career on predictive mock drafts. Not what he wants, but what he thinks will happen based on what he's hearing, what he's seeing, NFL executives, NFL insider scouts, NFL decision makers, all of that type of stuff. And he even said in his most recent mock draft, I believe it was yesterday or the day before that, he said, quote, "I don't have any more clarity on this pick than I did in my last mock," unquote, when talking about he had us selecting Drake May. Mel Kiper picked Jayden Daniels, and Daniel Jeremiah selected Drake May, but there's no serious logic or backing behind either of these picks because, again, nobody knows what Adam Peters wants to do. Not even the people super plugged in to the football world right now, man. I mean, nobody. And again, like I talked about a couple of days ago, I think Adam Peters doesn't even probably know what he wants to do yet. Maybe he has a quarterback one in mind right now, but there's a chance that things could change, and maybe he changes his mind by the time we actually end up picking somebody April 25th by around, I'm assuming, like 8 something p.m. because the draft is going to start at like 8, and then who knows? Even though everybody knows who the Bears are taking with Caleb Williams, you just never know. They may milk it and let the clock run down, and then you got all those speeches to start off the draft and everything like that. So I guess hopefully by 8:30 p.m. April 25th, the Commanders will know who we ended up taking at quarterback. But again, so many things can change from now to then, to where that even if Adam Peters is leaning towards one particular quarterback right now, he could end up selecting somebody completely different in over a month. And also, one thing that I want to point out is that instead of going with the approach to where they seem like they don't like any of the quarterbacks, they have shown clearly we're going quarterback, clear as day. And I mean, I'm not completely 100% ruling out the thought of a trade back and then still taking quarterback, but I highly doubt it. I'm like 99.99% sure that we're taking quarterback second overall. Again, as a statistics guy, I will never believe in absolutes. I will never say anything is 100%, but this is as close as to 100% as you can possibly get, in my opinion. But especially after signing Marcus Mariota as a veteran and then trading away Sam Howell, who still has some potential franchise quarterback in him, I personally believe, they are clearly showing they are taking quarterback in this draft, whether it's second overall or not. No matter what, we're drafting a new projected starting quarterback for week 1. Hopefully Marcus Mariota never has to throw a single regular season pass for us ever. And so they've already shown, after trading Sam Howell especially, we're taking quarterback. So it makes sense that they're not even trying to look like, oh, we're not interested in taking quarterback. We're still trying to be ambiguous. You don't know. Maybe quarterback. Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. Maybe a top tackle. No, they've completely just did it that. We're clearly interested in quarterbacks. We're going to pro days and everything like that. We'll talk about that soon. They're more so going with the approach of seeming like they like all 4 top quarterbacks, even including JJ McCarthy. Instead of looking like they don't like any quarterbacks, and you never know, we may take any position group. We may even trade back. Right now, it's looking like we like all quarterbacks. You just don't know which quarterback we're going to take, but you can bet we're taking quarterback. And that makes a lot more sense. Of course, I already gave y'all a big update a couple of days ago about how the Commanders are flying all the way out to Michigan to have dinner with Mike McCarthy today, this evening, Thursday, before he has his pro day tomorrow, Friday, March 22nd. Of course, I also in that report did a whole breakdown of JJ McCarthy, why he's better than some people think, why I don't want him at all, and why the Giants and a few other teams that have seemed like they're very interested in potentially getting them, like the Vikings and things like that. And then also there's Caleb Williams. So we've shown there's clear interest in JJ McCarthy right there, with the fact that we're going all the way to Michigan to have dinner with them. And remember the last time we were on the way flying to Michigan in mid-flight to meet with the guy that we were targeting, even though it was a coach instead of a player last time, we were mid-flight and then we caught a text message from said target that he was no longer interested. Maybe that happens again with this situation. Hopefully, in Adam Peters' point of view, that does not happen. But from my point of view, a guy that wants Jayden Daniels or Drake May, I am hoping that JJ McCarthy does the Commanders just like Ben Johnson did them. But we'll see. But again, there's clear interest in JJ McCarthy. There's also clear interest in Caleb Williams. I highly doubt we get him. I'm very, very sure, I'm willing to put money down that we don't get him. But Of course, the Commanders had GM Adam Peters, head coach Dan Quinn, and a bunch of other guys at USC's Pro Day yesterday. And then they will be at Michigan's Pro Day on Friday. And then the same group is also expected to be at the UNC and LSU Pro Days in a couple of days from now. But at the USC Pro Day specifically, we had GM Adam Peters, head coach Dan Quinn, offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury, obviously, his ties to USC and all of that. We'll talk about that soon. And assistant GM Lance Newmark. I mean, we brought like the top decision makers. Anybody that has any potential real input on who we take at quarterback, we took to that Caleb Williams Pro Day. But again, as noted by Ben Standig, we're more than likely going to do that for all of the top quarterback Pro Days. So just go ahead and expect that it's nothing new. But I know a lot of y'all see that picture circulating around with Caleb Williams and Adam Peters basically embracing each other like, hey man, Caleb Williams is kind of looking like he's saying, please come save me. Like Caleb Williams is hugging Adam Peters even stronger than Adam Peters is hugging him. Or maybe they just caught the picture at the time where Adam Peters is still going in for the grab. But either way, Caleb Williams is not playing about Adam Peters. That looks like a save me type of hug, a get out type of hug. I don't know, man. But of course, it's been reported that Caleb Williams had dinner and meetings with the Bears, but was holding off on any meetings with any other teams, including the Washington Commanders, until after his workouts. So what I take from that is that it sounds like he prioritized the meeting with the Bears, and then everybody else was just kind of like, yeah, I guess I'll do my due diligence just in case and meet with those guys after my pro day. But the only team that I cared enough to meet with before my pro day were the Chicago Bears, which is where I'm more than likely going. And you saw Keenan Allen, who just got traded there in full Bears gear. Like, it doesn't even look like Chicago's trying to hide it anymore. At first, it kind of seemed like they were trying to still remain a little secretive, a little mysterious and things like that. Now it's obvious, man. They're rolling the red carpet out for that guy. I would be super shocked if they don't take Caleb Williams. That would be one of the biggest shocks in draft history, in my opinion. They're making it too. I mean, Keenan Allen pulled up in all Bears gear. I don't even know how he got that quickly. That much gear, he wasn't playing, man. They're clearly doing all that they can, and not only recruit him, like, I mean, but it's not his choice, honestly, but they're just like, hey, man, we're here, let's do it. But then at the same time, you have one, I forgot which player it was, but somebody said that's already currently on the Bears team. I believe it was a defensive player that said they don't like his attitude, and if you're gonna come here, you need to humble yourself and all of that type of stuff. I mean, nice job, buddy, on trying to make Caleb Williams feel welcome. You know what I'm saying? You trying to make that guy pull an Eli Manning type of situation. You know what I'm saying? You better chill out. And speaking of an Eli Manning situation, that boy PFT commenter said on his podcast, he should demand a trade, as in Caleb Williams, to a successful, well-run franchise historically like the Washington Commanders. And you never know. Again, I'm willing to put money on the Bears will end up drafting Caleb Williams, and he will be happy to go there and all of that type of stuff. But then you also had, I heard a report that the Bears did like a psychological test on him, and apparently he would be offended by that and things. You never know. Also, pro day wise, I'm assuming that we had the most access there at the pro day out of every NFL team, even including the Bears. I'm pretty sure we had the most access, like the closest we could get to Caleb Williams and his coaching staff as possible, because I believe out of every NFL team, we're the only one to hire a 2023 USC offensive coach to our staff. Remember, we hired Cliff Kingsbury to be our offensive coordinator. He was the USC offensive assistant last season with Caleb Williams. So I'm sure our access was just on a slightly different level than everybody else there, maybe even including the Bears. Like next level clearance through there type of thing. But at the end of the day, man, Chicago is taking him. So it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. He prioritized having dinner only with the Bears before his pro day for a reason, I believe. But of course, a man can dream. Also, just like we were there at Caleb Williams' pro day, like I briefly mentioned earlier, I'm super sure that we're going to take all of the same people and be front row and center at the Jayden Daniels pro day, March 27th, and the Drake May pro day, March 28th. I'm pretty sure, so we shouldn't read too much into that right now. Again, back to my main point. Adam Peters is keeping it very open. We know we're going quarterback, but we're showing so much interest in every quarterback. Who knows what we're going to do at number 2 overall? Again, to my point, that Adam Peters may not even know, and even if he does, nobody else does. Again, Daniel Jeremiah, Mel Kiper, nobody else knows what he's going to do at all right now. We're going to Michigan to meet with JJ McCarthy. We're not even bringing him here. We're going to him. All of that type of stuff, man. Also, Cameron Curl. Next topic. That boy is not playing. Y'all definitely made him mad on Twitter, because for him to even feel the need to tweet these things is definitely the fan base's fault. I highly doubt this just came out of nowhere just because we didn't end up signing him. He went to the Rams. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all fans caused him to do this. So on Twitter, he said, quote, "I wish we played them boys." And apparently we do not play the Rams in the 2024 regular season. So maybe the playoffs, we'll see. Hopefully, maybe that's looking too far ahead. Maybe that's having too high of hopes for the Commanders in year one of rebuild. But apparently Cameron Curl wishes he could play us this upcoming season. He wants his revenge immediately. And then he also tweeted a gif of, that's my Georgia Bulldog Super Bowl champion Matthew Stafford. So I have no ill intent towards my dog over there. But Cameron Curl tweeted a picture of Matthew Stafford basically waving goodbye and basically being petty and showing like the Super Bowl stuff. Like basically, I'm going to a Super Bowl team led by this Super Bowl winning great quarterback. What's up with y'all? When was the last time y'all won a Super Bowl, Commanders fans? That's what I got from the tweet. And first of all, the type of person that I am, I would love to play against my former team no matter who it is. First of all, I highly doubt he grew up a Commanders fan, so his only attachment with us is playing for us. I'm pretty sure this is not like his childhood team or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure he's thankful for everything that he did for us, that we did for him and things like that. But again, even if me being a Commanders fan, born and raised and all of that, if I was playing for the Commanders at one point in time and then got traded to another team, I couldn't wait to play the Commanders. I would be so excited about getting revenge on even just to go against my fellow brothers that I used to play with, like my dogs and them. Like it would be just so many reasons that I couldn't wait. And then also to show y'all like, hey man, y'all should have paid me. The only reason I'm leaving is because y'all didn't want me as bad as this new team wanted me. You should have wanted me that bad. So I would personally be the type of guy that would circle that game on the calendar. Second, there was also a report that we didn't even offer him a contract at all. Like not even one. We didn't even try. Like that's crazy. So he has to feel at least a little salty about that. Just a little bit. Y'all probably would too, honestly. Just to dive into the report, apparently the Commanders never offered Cameron Curl an extension. Some fresh revelations provided some insight as to why Curl's been sending out some bitter posts on social media in recent days. Sam Fortier from the Washington Post stated that the Commanders didn't even bother offering him a modest extension for an extended stay. Those in power felt they had a better option for cheaper based on comments via USA Today Sports. The quote says from Sam Fortier via USA Today Sports, quote, "Washington didn't offer a deal to Cameron Curl because it believed veteran Jeremy Chinn would be a better fit at box safety for its new defensive scheme. Chinn, 26, signed a one-year deal worth a base value of $4.1 million. The official declined to elaborate on the specifics of the new scheme or why Chinn was a better fit," unquote. And I'm not gonna lie, man, if you want a true box safety hybrid linebacker type of guy, a star, or a lot of y'all probably don't want to call it this anymore, but better known as a Buffalo nickel at the NFL level. As a Georgia Bulldog fan, we call it a star position. That's why I just naturally call it star, but I try to remember, okay, Buffalo nickel. I'm talking about the Commanders, Buffalo nickel. But either way, I can agree that Jeremy Chinn probably is a better fit, especially if we're just talking about Dan Quinn alone, Joe Witt Jr., the scheme that they want to run, where they're more turnover based. They want more interceptions. They want more big plays happen. They want guys taking risks. Cameron Curl's not really a risk taker. He's like a safe option. You know what you're going to get, but you're also not going to get game-changing plays from him necessarily. And they feel like Jeremy Chinn is more of a better fit for what they want to do, especially at the very least athleticism-wise. When we're talking about athleticism, Jeremy Chinn is one of the biggest freak athletes in all of the NFL. So if they can keep him healthy, put him in the right scheme, which Carolina refused to do the past year and a half, which is why he ended up not playing as well for them. But the first 2 years, when they actually prioritized making sure he fit the scheme and getting the best out of him, he balled out. He was second in the running of Defensive Rookie of the Year, only behind Chase Young. I believe Jeremy Chinn can really ball out in this scheme, especially with all of the guys around him. And I also feel like it's not just Jeremy Chinn replacing Cameron Curl. I feel like Jeremy Chinn is a better replacement for 2022 and before Cameron Curl, but 2023 Cameron Curl was more of a pure strong safety that was away from the line of scrimmage more times than not, and that's more so your Quan Martin. But either way, you have two guys that can fill in the shoes of what you lost in Cameron Curl, and both guys are cheaper, even combined, than what Cameron Curl is right now. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm not surprised, but I am surprised that they didn't offer him anything. Like, not even like here, we're going to throw out this ridiculously low offer and expect you to decline it. But if you're willing to take that ridiculously low offer, then cool. You could be like a nice depth piece, rotational piece, but they didn't even offer him anything. That's crazy. And then my last and third point for Cameron Curl, the way y'all have been talking about him and talking to him on Twitter, I'd be petty too, man. Like, we do not have any right to be upset with Cameron Curl, because if I were in his shoes, if I was his dad that's been very vocal in the Commanders fan base on Twitter and things like that, doing interviews with everybody, real cool guy, man, or if I was anybody in his camp, anybody on his side, I'd be like, yeah, man, it's up there with them too, man. It's not all of us, but it's a lot of us, man. So even on top of everything else, a lot of y'all just be hating for no reason on him out here. So, hey, man, from his point of view, I think he's justified, in my personal opinion. If I were in his shoes, I'd be on the same type of timing, man. I'm not gonna lie. But I am happy for him at the end of the day. Even though he still feels the need to respond to Commanders fans, I personally probably wouldn't. I'm just not the type to do stuff like that over the internet. But I feel him. But, and again, at the end of the day, I'm happy he gets to go to a great situation. So at the end of the day, he shouldn't even feel the need to respond, because he's going to a really good situation for him specifically. He's going to a competitive team, good scheme fit, definitely a better scheme fit there than here with Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. And he's going to a good and proven head coach as well. And even though he's not getting paid as much as what he expected, he's probably getting paid way less than what he was expecting just as of a couple of months ago. But it's still a huge increase in pay from what he was getting paid off of his 7th round rookie contract. So again, I'm happy for Buddy. I feel where he's coming from, but I just wouldn't go about it that same way. I'm more of just a bet and I'm gonna show you type of guy than I'm gonna tell you over the internet, especially on Twitter, tweeting and stuff like that. That's just not me, but I understand where he's coming from. Y'all need to leave that man alone, plain and simple, for real, man. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section, let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please stiff arm that like button, stiff arm that subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Appreciate the Cash App donations, man. Much love to y'all some real ones out there. Appreciate all of the support, man. Make sure you let me know in the comment section how you feel about everything discussed in this video. The Terry McLaurin situation, the Adam Peters which quarterback he prefers situation, the Cameron Curl situation. Do you agree with PFT commenter that Caleb Williams should pull like an Eli Manning situation and make sure that he ends up landing with the Commanders? I think it's actually really interesting, and I'm probably going to do a video on this as well. But I think, like, as far as top 2 picks go that need quarterback, I feel like this is the best situation that any top 2 quarterbacks could land in, as far as like how the Commanders roster is currently set up after free agency, and after how the Bears roster is set up after free agency, with them trading for Keenan Allen, making all of the moves that they made as well. I feel like for like a top 2 picks quarterback type of situation, this is like as good as it gets for rosters that you normally land on, because look what Bryce Young ended up with the Panthers. I'm pretty sure he's extremely jealous of Caleb Williams potentially going number 1 overall, and whoever's going to end up going number 2 overall. And even the Patriots, even though I don't feel like the Patriots roster outside of quarterback is as good as ours or the Bears at all, I don't even think it's necessarily close. It's still better than what Bryce Young landed with the Panthers a couple of years ago. So, hey, man, shouts out to the top 2 quarterbacks that are going to end up getting drafted, because y'all are going to some way better situations than quarterbacks drafted that high normally go to. Typically, quarterbacks going as high as y'all land on teams that are way worse. Again, I'm gonna probably do a video on that separately, but let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Stiff arm that like button. Please don't leave this video without leaving a like. It means the world to me, and it's free for y'all. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned, more content on the way. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Appreciate y'all. I'm out, man.